Hi guys. I'm gonna show you something here, and this I'll show you how to install this and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you about the class a little bit. This class basically is if you're saying, well, you're using Windows 7 and Fedora 11 or 14. God Almighty, they're way beyond that. The reason for this class is rather simple. It started out as we knew kids knew how to use XP. We wanted to teach them how to use Linux, because introduce them to Linux, because Linux, if you're going on in our career field, you're going to find out Linux is a mainstay of a lot of things. Okay, it sits in the background, but if you know how to work with it, it's actually an asset that you're going to have. Um, we started using virtual. I think I started using them back in '94, but my thing was that I had a Linux box laptop, and I used the virtuals so that I could actually run XP inside of Linux and have better protection and have better or less viruses. Okay, the class gradually evolved, and what it is this. By running virtuals, which you see here, we have Fedora 32-bit and Windows 7 32-bit. And don't worry about that, the concepts are the same. By doing the class this way, what actually happens is that we can go in there and teach you things that if you did it on your own machine, you might break it. Or if we had you do a dual install of Windows and Linux, which we could have you dual boot, that could cause problems too. And some of the exercises we have you do are like create partitions, change partitions. And if you did that on your own machine, you would probably, if you made a mistake, even if you followed the instructions, you'd probably still what? Error, because we're learning. And what would happen? You would end up in a situation where that you would what? Trash your system or lose data that is very vital to you. So by using the virtuals, what we're going to do here, and there's instructions on how to do it. There's also another one of these easy vids, which I don't particularly care about, but it's on my Windows 7 box. I'll let it go. What shows you how to use the virtuals. The virtuals are actually kind of like, if we think about this, I'm running VMware Player inside of a Windows 7 box. All the controls on this particular machine I'm using are in play. VM Player is nothing more than an application, just like Microsoft Word is an application inside of Windows 7. It has a few extra features that it gets access to talk to the kernel of Windows 7 or your application, the operating system you have, whether it's 8, whether it's 10, and it gets some high priority access, but it does not bypass anything. Like right here, when I do Windows 7, I've got this already loaded, and I show you what the actual settings are. You notice down here, if we go and we look at the network adapter, it's NATed, and I've got it connected on power. NATed, users share the host IP address. What that means is network address translation, and we can go into long detail, but I'm not going to. What actually allows it to do is that it goes through your system's network card. Now, your system's network card is controlled by your what? By your virus checker, checking things going through and out. It's also checked by your firewall and other security things that you may already have on your system that are different from one machine to another. But what happens is when I go out using a network, when I load this baby up, and I'm going to load it up here, I'm actually going to just load Windows 7 up. When I load the Windows 7 up, this is an actual version of Windows 7. And it's going to come up and give me some things because my machine's different than yours. And when it starts up, and it goes out, if I actually have it go out through using Internet Explorer or Firefox, what it will actually do is go through your what? Firewall, the way you've got it set up, your virus protection, the way you have it set up and going out. And there's no way that when I'm on this virtual that I can get a virus into this particular virtual that will have an effect upon your system. Okay, because your system is protecting it. Now, for instance, notice here I've got two mice. Okay, only when I click on the inside. And notice here it says Control Alt will take me back out. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to log on as administrator. Okay? And the password for that is P @ uppercase P @ SSW0RD. Okay? Whoops. What did I do wrong? P @ SSW0RD. Is it one? No, just there it is. I just didn't type it in right the first time. And you'll get used to it. It's not a big deal. And it's not a very good secure password because it's used a lot. But right now I'm going to do something that we'll do maybe back in chapter 5. And this is the reason why we have this. We're going to go into Control Panel and see it's setting up a network there for me. But I'm going to go into Control Panel here and I'm going to go into Administrative Tools and I'm going to go into Computer Management. It's being a little bit slow because it really wants me to reboot because of the network. Come on. And I'm going to go into Disk Management. Now as administrator I can do that. And I can come over here and do a right click and say I want to shrink this volume. Let's see what we got. We can shrink it back or do something. Maybe I did the wrong thing. What I should have done is just come down here to this one, did a right click and deleted it. Okay, but what I'm doing right here as administrator can have very scary effects upon your system. And we teach you how to use that and the things that you need to know. But in the case here, I could go through there and do some really nasty stuff. But I'm going to stop it right now and get out of there because I don't want to do that. Now, the thing is, I could have gone, well, actually, let's see if I go back in, I get past the, let's go into Disk Management. And I'm going to right click right here on NTFS and I'm going to delete the volume. Yes, and maybe there was stuff in there, and there is stuff in there that we want. Oh, it's unallocated. We get a problem. Okay, but then again, I can close this, and the beauty is I can come down here and do a shutdown. You saw me get rid of that particular partition because it had 3 partitions on it, okay? It's going to shut down. When I come back, that partition will be back there. In other words, it won't let me go in and destroy stuff. Okay? And that's one of the beauties of VMware, is that we're using this, playing this virtual machine, and when it comes back up, everything will be there that was there before. Okay? But you still want to, in a logical manner, shut it down every time you do it. Don't worry, we're going to cover all this stuff later on. But what I want you to realize is, in some case you're going, man, it's a pain in the butt. I got to learn VMware. I got to learn Windows 7, which you already know anyway. You're probably on the 10. And I got to learn this thing called Linux. But we let you do it in a mannerism that you can do no damage to your system. And if you were to damage one of these, you can always what? Unzip it, load it back in again if you really got bad. But in most cases, what? You're never going to do that. Okay, like right here, I'm going to go back in, click my P @ SSW0RD, get back in the system. And if we were to go back in there and look again, we would actually see that I still have the drive that I deleted before, because what? I didn't, there is a way that we can shut it down and actually have the stuff do change, but it's only in what we call the hibernate type mode. And I'm not going to go there. Let's go to our settings. And we're going to do Administrative Tools, Computer Management. Come on. Well, you can see right here I've got what? I've got all my drives. I do my disk management. And we see it's right back like it was before. Okay, does that make sense? There's a lot of benefit in what we're doing. It may not seem that at the very beginning, okay, but there is a big benefit in the fact that everything we teach you how to do, you can do on these machines and not worry at all about any kind of problems to happen. In fact, we could actually go out purposely to some dumb site and download a virus and load it inside your what? Inside your virtual and have it eat your virtual. But then again, when you boot it up again, everything is the same as it was before. Sound good? Okie dokie. Thank you, thank you. Have a nice day.